Hello, welcome back to Health with Kylie and Kylie podcast, the go-to source for health and fitness advice. Today we're going to jump into the question, are you doing the right workout? So many exercise options out there, and it's easy to feel overwhelmed, confused, and just question everything really. But don't worry, we're going to help you try and navigate the world of fitness, online influencers and all that sort of stuff, and figure out, what the go-to workout is for you. But first, hello, Kylie Ham. Welcome back to another week. How are you? How has your week been? And happy Anzac Day.
Hello, Kylie Jade, and hello, listeners. It is fabulous to be back as always. And yes, we are recording on Anzac Day here in Australia, where we remember our fallen soldiers and anyone, men, women, animals, anyone who has served in any type of conflict or war. And so, lest we forget, I have been busy this week with, I have had visitors. So my dad, my auntie and my uncle have been here for 3 nights and 4 days, keeping us busy and entertained. So I had a day off work yesterday, which was really nice, and showed them around the beautiful sights of Port Macquarie. But it was just nice just to spend quality time with them. And yeah, so what have you been up to this week, Kylie Jade?
Not a whole lot. I had a day off too this week. I had Tuesday off, which was nice to, I had a couple of appointments to attend to, but not much else there. I just lounged about, to be honest, in the afternoon, which was quite good. Just a couple of hours on my own. I could watch what I wanted. Apart from that, still just training, eating, working, working and more working. And then today, obviously, being Anzac Day, I didn't make it to the dawn service, but I did obviously give my thoughts and respects to the past, present and future soldiers. And just remembered them. Then, slow morning this morning, and this afternoon, obviously, being in a football family, we'll be watching the Anzac Day AFL match.
Awesome. That sounds fantastic. So let's dive into it. Are you doing the right workout? I think fitness can be very overwhelming and very confusing for people. There are so many options out there in terms of fitness, and there's so much information out there, especially on social media and the web. And so people can get quite overwhelmed with so many exercise options out there. So today we just wanted to hopefully provide some useful advice in how to navigate your fitness goals. And, really, I think it's really important to assess, where you're at and, what are you getting out of your exercise, and is it working for you? Is it something that is causing you stress and anxiety? Because it really shouldn't be. It really should be something that you enjoy doing. Ultimately, exercise is not a punishment, and it's not a tool that we can use to eat more food either, sadly. So, Kylie Jade, let's dive into it, and let's help our listeners find the perfect workout for them. Yeah. What would you like to start with today?
First, I think it's most important to understand where you are at in terms of your fitness level. Are you a beginner? Are you intermediate, advanced? Like, figure out where you're at on your fitness journey. If you're just starting out, there's no point in trying to start from someone's 2 years in. You should be finding a workout that is on your level, beginner level. Don't go and try and do these compound lifts, for example, in the gym when you have no idea what you're doing. So I think assessing your fitness level, where you're at, and picking something that is in a line with, that beginner sort of stage, if you are a beginner. Obviously, you're not going to be as strong as someone that's been lifting for 2 years or 10 years or whatever it might be. And you're obviously potentially, if you're just starting out, you're not going to be as fit as someone that can run 10K. So yeah, just starting off where you're at, being really honest with yourself at where you are at, I guess, is the first little point there. What would you say, Kylie?
Yes, I would, as always, or not always, I guess, but I 100% agree with you. But yeah, definitely this time. Yeah, you have to be honest with where you're at. And I think also you have to be honest with what you can achieve. There's no point setting, like an unrealistic goal and saying, oh, like I'm going to go gung ho and I'm going to train 5, 6, 7 days a week and I'm going to do an hour of cardio and half an hour of strength training. You first of all, most people, if they're returning to exercise or starting out, they don't have the fitness level to be able to maintain that, and you will just injure yourself very, very quickly. Not only that, you'll burn out very quickly, and you won't enjoy it at all. And you're not going to progress or enjoy the process at all. So yeah, really have a good think about what your goals are, what your time frames are, what you can achieve. And, hiring a coach is a great way to start. Getting some help, getting some assistance with that. Some people don't even know where to start or even like what their goals really are or what questions to ask themselves in terms of how do I achieve this. So really want to think about, do you want to lose weight? Do you want to build muscle? Do you want to improve your endurance? Or do you simply just want to work on your overall health? Or do you want a combination of that? So, and what can you realistically achieve? So different workouts cater for different goals. So, for example, with fat loss, workouts like high intensity interval workouts combined with strength training are great for fat loss. People think, I think, that whole you've got to like go really hard and sweat and get your heart rate up, and that's the only way to burn fat. But, listeners of this podcast will surely, hopefully, be educated enough to know that that is not the only way to burn fat. And so, yeah, it's important to look at the workout you want to do, look at your fitness level, assess where your goals are at.
Correct. I agree. And in adding to that, understanding your goals, like there is no, I'm not going to say no point, but if your focus is to build muscle, HIIT training is not going to do that. You need to focus on lifting weights, eating in alignment with those goals to actually achieve muscle growth. HIIT is also awesome for cardiovascular improvement, but once again, it's not the optimal form of exercise to increase muscle. Whereas, on the opposite, as Kylie Ham said, if you are looking to lose weight, then you would incorporate that in with your strength training. So, just being aware of, the type of strength versus cardio training for your goals, as Kylie said, awesome. And also in that, like, there's no point in going to the gym, lifting weights 5, 6 days a week if you fucking hate it. So that ties in with the next point. You've got to find something that you enjoy. So if you enjoy HIIT training, do it. As I said, it's not the most optimal exercise to increase muscle mass, but if you do that alongside it, maybe 2 or 3 strength sessions a week, obviously you're going to build that muscle that you're after, but you're also getting that HIIT style of training in that you enjoy. So learning how to balance the different training styles you might enjoy strength training and going for a run. So learning how to incorporate all that into your weekly routine will obviously help keep you more adherent and consistent with your training and your goals.
Yes, definitely. And it like incorporate variety if you have to. Like, I guess we're not just talking to beginners here. I think, it's really important for people who have exercised for long periods of time or whatever periods of time, that you reassess your goals and you reassess how you're feeling about your exercise regime. Is it working for you? Have you hit like a bit of a stagnant point? If you're not enjoying it anymore, if it's a struggle to get up and go to the gym, then maybe you need a little bit more of a challenge. Like maybe you want to start cycle classes, or you want to join dance classes or yoga, for example. So like incorporate those something different into your routine. If you are bored, don't feel like you have to stick with the exact same routine all of the time if it's
Mm.
if it's not working for you, because that's when it will start to become a burden or a punishment, and you just won't enjoy it, and then you'll probably most likely stop going, or not be as consistent. And we all know that consistency is the key with exercise, so making sure that you are doing something is way better than doing nothing or doing something occasionally that you just hate. So
Yeah.
experiment with different types of exercise. Try something you haven't tried before, and if you don't like it, that's fine. You tried it, so give something else a go, and you might find you really enjoy that. And then that might be something that you do for 6, 12, 18 months, or for the rest of your life. So it just depends on on where you're at and what your interests are.
Exactly. Couldn't agree more. Also, on actually trying to figure out what style of training, exercise, whatever you want to call it, for your goals, Kylie, what would you suggest if someone came to you? I'm just seeking your professional advice. If someone came to you and said, I want to grow muscle, but I also want to strip fat, like I want to get that toned, fit, athletic look, what do I do?
Okay, so as we are both personal trainers and nutritionists, we know that nutrition is a major part of fat loss. So you would need to focus on look at your diet, and see what your calorie intake is, look at your protein intake. And to build muscle, the best way, of course, is strength training. So you need a progressive program to be able to achieve that. So that is a program where you're not just going in and doing random exercises every now and then, or you need to be following a progressive program that the weights are increasing, the reps are increasing, the volume's increasing, in order to be able to achieve muscle gain. Like obviously every situation is completely different and each individual is very different. So, and again, we have to take into consideration like the client's goals, the client's family life, work life, the amount of time that they have. So everything looks very different for each individual. So if you want to build muscle, yes, you've got to strength train. Like we cannot stress on this podcast the importance of strength training. It speeds up your metabolism. It helps with fat loss. You don't have to be doing cardio. I mean, I lost like nearly close to 20 kilos. I did not do a drop of cardio ever. So you don't have to do cardio to lose weight. So cardio is great for heart health, and like
Yeah,
we highly recommend that you do it, but you don't have to incorporate that if it's something that you don't want to do or you don't have time to do. But you do need to do strength training with a progressive program, which you can get from a personal trainer or you can get from an online coach. Is that the correct answer, Kylie Jade?
I just wondered what your answer was. Just for the listeners out there, yeah, if they come to you and said, I want to lose weight and get that toned fit look, what would Kylie Ham say? Yeah, perfect. So obviously that weightlifting and whatever for muscle growth, eating in line with those goals to grow the muscle. Side note, you can potentially lose fat whilst growing muscle. It's not only a fast or optimal process. It's often better to focus on one or the other first, but you can do it alongside each other where you strip some fat and grow some muscle. That's usually more in the beginner phase than the more advanced gym goer, because the beginners, for some reason, they get that beginner muscle growth, and I envy them all because, yeah, it doesn't happen after you've been spending years and years in the gym. Okay, so the next topic,
Fantastic.
Kylie, you sort of touched on it, seeking professional advice, and yeah, trying to achieve your fitness or physique or whatever health goals you might have. Anything that you want to touch on that next point?
I think that we covered a lot of it. Obviously, like if you don't know what exercise is right for you, or you don't know where to start, or you're looking at options, like you can go and obviously get online. There's a lot of information out there, but we always say we're more than happy to ask if anyone wants to ask questions about anything at all. It's good to get other people's opinions. So yeah, just get guidance from obviously try to get guidance from someone who's certified or has experience in the industry. I think that's important. So like I said, a fitness coach or a personal trainer, an online coach, because we're all trained in how to assess your needs, how to personalize training for you, and how to provide that guidance and support that you need along the way. I think I posted a story just today, a quote from another online coach that I found really, really interesting, is that, there's a lot of apps and things out there that you can purchase with training or exercise programs, but they're just not helpful without that guidance that you need. I'll try and read it out, and shout out to 4 weeks to the beach. Where is he? Buying someone's workout app isn't coaching. More often than not, you won't learn shit. I just lost it because it's a story. You probably won't get the necessary accountability to stick to the plan either. So yeah, it's really yes, you can purchase an app and that's fine. There's some great apps out there to get started. But I generally find that a lot of the time they're not overly progressive. So yes, they're great for beginners and you can kind of get to a point, but I think then you will become quite stagnant. Yeah. So you need a little bit more support, guidance, experience. Accountability is a big thing. So yeah, you can't really always get things like that from an app.
Absolutely agree. And as you said, it's good for beginning, something to stick to and go through, and yes, I guess follow for your first 8, 12 weeks, whatever it might be, but it definitely isn't personalized. A lot of them are just like copy paste, don't account for, where you're actually at. Are you mobile enough to do those movements? Do you have injuries that you can't do those movements and you don't know how to substitute that exercise? Like, for example, I've got a girl that I coach, she's got bad knees, and single leg movements, there's only a handful of minimal ones, like maybe 2 or 3 that she can actually do comfortably, whereas the rest flare up her bad knee. So those apps and things don't account for that either, just as a little reminder, something to have in the back of your head. By all means, go for it, but without the knowledge of how to swap out those exercises as well. Your coach can obviously help you. Your personal trainer can obviously go, okay, so this is bad for you, we'll swap it for this. But if you don't know that, you're not going to swap it. So you're either going to go through the movement and hurt yourself more or whatever, or you're going to skip it, and then obviously you're not completing a full workout. So yeah, great to start. don't account for everything and everyone's personalized situations.
Yeah, most definitely. And, like we said before, like everyone's different and you really do have to be careful, especially if you are getting older. You need to be more aware of, what's appropriate for you because you can do some major damage. And I do have a little bit of an example. I had a client who was following an app and she had breast implants. And because she wasn't really aware, she was doing lots of like chest exercises and bench pressing. And she ruptured her implant. So, and that can be quite dangerous and make her very, very unwell. She was quite lucky, but obviously she had to have surgery and get it fixed. So, but, if she was with a coach or, and she'd mentioned that, then we would know not to really program anything too much in that department. You can still obviously do some exercises safely and more incline bench pressing and things like that. But she needs to stick to lighter weights for certain exercises. So you can't go pushing really hard in certain situations. So even just things like that, you have to be very,
Mm.
very careful with what you're doing. So I guess that
Mhm.
brings us on to our next point about listening to your body. And look, we're not just, exercise is so broad. We're not just talking about strength training. This could be if you want to start running, like I would recommend getting an experienced running coach. If you wanted to start triathlons, like I would recommend joining a triathlon club or getting an experienced triathlon coach to give you that advice and information. You don't have to keep them forever, but just to have safe
Mm.
advice to complete the training that you want
Yeah.
to do, have a safe program that's individualized to you. So, and I know these things cost money, but like what price can you put on your health, really? So listen to your body, pay attention to how it responds to your different types of exercise. And if something doesn't feel right, don't push it. Like, I'm such a big advocate for listening to your body, and listening to my body.
Mm.
And you really, just it's not worth it. Don't push it.
Yeah.
What do you
I
think
have a
about
little
that one,
side kicker
Kyles?
to that, listening to your body. Absolutely listen to your body, but don't let your mind lie to yourself. Like there's times where you
Yeah.
actually do need to rest, or you do need to pull up, or you do need to switch out and exercise or
Mm,
whatever. But then there's times where your mind's trickering playing trickery on you, and you're like, oh, I
mm.
need to rest. No, you're just fucking unmotivated today. Or, oh, my shoulder hurts. Or maybe your shoulder doesn't actually hurt, it's just you're unfamiliar with the exercise, you don't want to go back to beginner weights because your ego's come along for the ride,
Mm.
and you don't want to strip it back and learn how to perform it properly, or you don't actually love the exercise, so therefore you're going to make up an excuse not to do it. So yeah, just a little make sure you're actually being
Mm.
honest with yourself and listening to your body. Don't just come up with bullshit excuses.
Yeah.
But yes, rest and recovery are just as important as
Yeah.
exercising itself. And obviously, especially when it comes to weights, strength training, you do need that rest and recovery because that is when your muscles repair and actually grow. Um, you can flog
Mm.
them in the gym, but they need that recovery and the food as well to repair and grow. And same with like any injuries. Obviously, if you are injured and pushing through it, it's just going to cause longer term harm. Like I myself have had a bad knee. I ran through it. I've told you all before, I kept running through it. Now my knee doesn't love me to run anything more than like the 2.5, 3K mark. And that's not an excuse. That's actually fact. Like it's just no longer allowing me because I didn't listen back when I was younger.
Yeah, definitely. It's really, and just to go back to the point, I think where you said, yeah, you need to know the difference between when you need to pull up, and when it's your mind saying,
Or give up.
I just can't be fucked doing this anymore. Yeah. So I think um, it takes a while to kind of
Mm.
to learn that or get in touch with yourself with those things. And I think this is why practices such as meditation and journaling and reflection are really important things to do, just to reassess where you're at. And maybe the reason why you don't want to do the exercise is like there's something else going on that you're not happy with in your life, or you're not sleeping properly, or your nutrition is not on point. So it's really important to kind of reassess those things and understand where you're at. And again, it's a great plug for a coach, because coaches check in, they ask the right questions, they get you thinking about things like that. And so it's just a really great practice to do that. And like in terms of exercise, it's like, okay, maybe you need a break from that type of training for a while, and you need to try something different for a little while, because you're not enjoying it anymore, and you're not and if you're not following the program, you're skipping exercises or not progressing, then you're not really going to achieve too much anyway. So it might be time to look at something like that. So yeah, I think it's really important to realize that things change really often, and we a lot of the time doing the same thing is fantastic, and if you're in a routine and it's working, then
Mm.
hallelujah, keep going. But if something happens, then
Yeah,
just
100%. And
reassess.
obviously, yeah, that comes back into line with obviously your goals. Your goals change as well. Like, I don't know about you. I think you're same boat. Like, our goal a few years ago
Mm,
was to lose body fat. Now your goal is maintain and grow some strength in the gym and perform lifts
mm,
perfectly. And mine is similar, but also to grow some muscle. So
mm,
as we said at the beginning, like flogging ourselves doing HIIT
mm,
cardio, running 10Ks, I don't know, hop, skip, jumping about the place, isn't going to help us in achieving those goals, because we should be lifting those weights and we should be progressing in the gym to achieve our goals. But if our goal was to run 10K and we're spending 6 days lifting weights in the gym and running one day, that's not in alignment with our goals. So, yeah, readjust, reassess your structured training program or your week, to be in line with those goals and your body. If your body
mm.
needs more rest days, then speak to your coach if you've got one, or yourself, and say, dude, like maybe 6 days or 5 days in the gym isn't good. I need to cut back to 3 or 4. So yeah, stay in touch with yourself and your goals.
Yeah, great advice. And I think I was going to say something. Oh, it's important to know that it's much harder. Like
Mm.
it's harder to grow muscle, but once you've grown muscle, it's actually quite easy to maintain it. So being aware of that, you don't have to be flogging yourself in the gym every
Mm.
week if your goal is maintenance. So yeah, don't feel like, if you're not achieving anything, being hard on yourself and going, oh, that was like, this is a shit workout, I'm not feeling great. Like you don't really have to. If your goal is maintenance,
So,
you don't yeah,
mm.
you don't have to. So yeah, it's much yeah, don't be hard on yourself. I think we
Anything,
say that nearly
any
every
women out there
episode.
that are
It's
so
really
hard on themselves
important.
for everything, don't be hard on yourself when it comes to your gym. Let yourself slide a little bit here and there
Mhm.
in that, because there's plenty of it. Yeah, we're so hard on ourselves in every area. um, so touching on maintenance as well, I
Yeah, we
myself, I think that's one of the hardest goals that I've had come across in my own personal journey, is to just simply maintain, because
mm,
like your photos don't change, your scale weight doesn't change, it's all just staying the same. And that's mentally one of the hardest phases I've been in, I think, is just maintaining and recognizing like not every workout has to be a progression or PBs or whatever, because just showing up and making your muscles move the same way
mhm.
is achieving your goal, really. So yeah, maintenance is hard.
Yeah, 100% maintenance is bloody hard. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like you said, you're not seeing progress, but like you want to be seeing progress, and you want to be like pushing harder and lifting more, but your
Mm.
body won't really respond the same way as what it did when, obviously, if you're in a bit of a surplus and you're feeding it a bit more, you can become very in tune with your body and know like how it's going to perform. I definitely can at the moment now. So yeah, and it's hard to to not being able to push that bit harder sometimes. But I feel like a lot of the time you can push a little bit more, so you're still getting like the 1 or 2 PBs, and so you're still seeing a little bit of progress. You're not like going too stagnant. You're definitely not going backwards.
As opposed to a deficit where like you're watching the scale come down or measurements come down or whatever. Maintenance, like it is essentially that. It's maintaining where you're at. So not much is meant to change. Like you'll have your fluctuations. You'll have some awesome PB days. You'll have days where you're like, shit, I didn't lift anywhere near as much as I did last week. The scale goes up a kilo, back down 2 kilos. Like there's not a whole lot of evidence that you're you're doing anything. But yeah, you certainly are.
Yeah, and I guess that's where so I guess that's where it comes back to, like, how you're feeling, like, yes, you're but you're still you're healthy, you're happy, like,
sleeping better.
Things are things are good. Like you need to be happy with where you're at, and that you're sleeping okay, you're going, you're doing exercise, you're getting your movement, you're getting some sunshine, you're getting some relaxation in. Like it's about focusing on like what you are achieving rather than you're not achieving these massive PBs, and that's okay because life isn't all about hitting PBs, and you don't have to you don't have to what was I going to say? I don't know, it's left me. But yeah, it's really gone. I don't know what I was going to say. But it was good. It was a good point. It was important. So shall we?
I think we've covered.
Do you have anything else you want to say for
as we've
in regards to this topic,
back
Kylie?
over the dot points. Be in tune with your body. Be in tune with your fitness, where you're at. Honestly, check in with what you actually want to achieve. Find a workout that is in line with those goals. As I said before, don't go running every single day if your goal is not to run and you want to lift heavier in the gym. That's sort of not an alignment there. And if in doubt, always reach out to someone that's educated, someone that knows. Ask their opinion on what you should be doing to achieve X, Y, and Z.
Excellent. Very well said. Could not say it better myself. So yeah, like keep experimenting with new things. The most important thing is to stay consistent. So you're doing some form of movement, exercise, making sure it's progressive training. Listen to your body. And yeah, if you can stay on track with the right mindset and the right approach and the right people around you can definitely help with that. And if you haven't listened to last week's episode on support and supportive people around you, go back and have a listen to that. And you'll be on your way to achieving your goals in no time. So thank you for listening to us. We really appreciate your support. If you have enjoyed this episode, please leave us a 5-star review. Please leave us positive comments. It really helps other people to find us. And share on your socials. Yeah, and don't forget to tag us. Share. And where can people find you, Kylie
DM
Jade?
us as well if we've, raised something that you want to question or you want more information on, whatever it might be. And to answer your question, where can people find me? Kylie Jade _coaching, and that's on Instagram. What about you, Kylie? Where can people find you?
Perfect. Yeah, we're on Instagram. I'm on Instagram at health_with_KJ, and you can find the podcast on Instagram at health with Kylie and Kylie. and we are on YouTube as
Thank
well. So
you.
check us out there. So thank you
See you next
for
time.
listening. Thank you, Kylie Jade. And I will see you next time. Bye.